What inspired you to enter this line of consultancy business?
I worked 3 decades in pharmaceutical industry, and then came a time when I thought I should have something of my own. And then, as it said, circumstances are stronger than the men. So I took a plunge into this pharmaceutical consulting and advisory role. And so I'm here now, 3 years down.
What is your core business?
If you look at the type of activities which is done into the pharmaceuticals, basically the research and development, manufacturing, operations, marketing, and product development. So if you look at, it's a cycle. It comes back to product development, goes into the manufacturing, quality operations, and in extension of all this, it comes into a regulatory filings into the various countries, and it's a requirement you have to comply, and that's where the business comes out. So it has a business plan, it has a marketing strategy. So our core business currently is to advise, to guide the organizations in the various aspects of regulatory compliance, quality compliance, and how to be on the top of all the issues where during the audits or during the normal day-to-day activities, they can be performing the activities which are desired by the various regulatory agencies like US FDA, European Agency, and all the other developed nations, including the law of the land, that is Indian FDA. So if you look at the core of our business will be always around the pharmaceutical product, pharmaceutical devices, API, drug formulations, and the software. Because nowadays a lot of digital progress have happened. The remote activities are getting controlled, the corporate roles coming up. So we do support into the review, we do support into the assessment by remote working. The issue which comes out is that management is always looking for something which is going to be supporting the business, and supporting the business has to be which will be basically as per the regulatory requirements. And if there are issues coming up, for example, like warning letter, import alert, which happens during the course of the time with organizations, so there we play a role. We work with the top management, we give them an advice. Once they understand, they accept there is an issue, they look into the remediation, they allot the remediation budget, the people, and we convince that this is a time consuming activity. That's where it will take some time, and we help them in implementation of the corrective action plan and other things which will come out as an activity for the organization. So we play a role which will be enabling the organizations to be in compliance.
What are the unique strengths of your company?
This organizational strength, if you ask today and in future, shall be always advising and giving the consulting to the management at the site, in corporate, and in research and development, and in corporate strategy and planning. So basically we'll be working into the areas around the people, training, product, which is compliance to the specifications and the filing, process, which has to be within the validated situations and conditions. So we'll always work around the people, process, and procedures. So that's where I think we will be always working, and that's our unique strength, that we'll be in a position to work around the R&D activity, the product. We will be in a position to work around the operational activities of the plant, that is the manufacturing activity, which includes as complex as things as running a machinery, a plant, where you have HVAC system, where you have engineering systems, where in complex dosage forms like injectables and many other things, you have different type of machines, sterilizers, and very advanced machines where there is a artificial intelligence, machine learning getting into now. So these are the areas where the future lies for the Indian pharmaceutical companies and global pharmaceutical companies. So that's where we will be providing our services.
What have been the major achievements of your company?
The major achievements, if you look at since the inception, the company is a small startup which is supported by me and some of the associates which I work with. So we are going slow, we are going very selective and taking some calibrated steps. We are nimble footed and we are trying to make a niche in the area of quality management, regulatory compliance, and definitely that's an area where we will add value to the organization and to ensure that the products are manufactured with a lot of compliances and all the things which is a part of the filing shall be taken care. So that's going to be our focus. Achievements per se, we have been working with some Indian multinationals. We have been working with the global multinationals where we have done gap assessments, where we have done the training, where we have supported their cause in the warning letter remediation. We have supported them in the certification of the batch release, investigations, OOS assessment, and giving those clearances and certification as a consultant, third party, which is the expectation of the FDA, which comes during the warning letters and import alert requirements. Then again, we do the training, which is basically on-site trainings or corporate trainings. Then we are involved in assessment of the toxicology, which is activity which is done for the cleaning validation, which is with the permissible daily exposure and OEL assessment and certification. We have been supporting the corporates, majorly setting up the corporate structure in quality, in regulatory, how to manage an organization which at a corporate level where they have more than one manufacturing sites. So we have supported them in setting up the corporate as a organization, as an organogram, and you can say as a system and procedure where there is a lot of harmonization which can be done at corporate level and brought to the site levels, which makes them a company using the similar type of system and procedures. And there when we bring in the digital capabilities which will be allowing that particular activity and to be done remotely, assessed remotely, and there is a teamwork which happens due to the digital environment, so which uses, as I was saying earlier, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and a lot of digital capabilities. So that's an area where we have added value. So computer system validations definitely becomes a part of this.
How much good is your goodwill, credibility, and branding in the market?
Goodwill, credibility, and branding. These are three aspects. So I'll start with the branding part. The type of branding which we initiated was with the name. So I have chosen a name which has a different connotation as Pharma Mantra. So we want to always say this, that it's a mantra, it's something which you can use to achieve the concept of right the first time, and then will take you to the success of the organization. So we'll try to always profess that. We'll try to support the organizations to reach there. Then as far as the second point which you said, what is the goodwill? Goodwill is something which comes between it's a relationship, it's a perception. So we do have that concept. We are communicating, we are trying to make a good connection with the management, that is the top management, middle management, and at the shop floor level. We do make that particular assessment, and each organization has its own strength, its own need as a remediation to be done. So we work around those, and then we give a plan which is chalked out of our assessment of the gap, and we do carve out a strategy which will support that. So that creates a situation of teamwork. We allow that. We involve the people and we do work around the need which is there for that particular organization. So that's the way I have been trying to work with the organizations, and that creates a lot of goodwill. At times we take a foot back or a step backward is okay. Many times we take a long shot and then we try to make it a different type of assessment. So we do that activity and support the organization. So that creates a lot of goodwill, a lot of teamwork.
How do you look at the opportunities?
Opportunity, I think when we say the opportunities as on date, there are plenty of opportunities which are coming up, and I'll try to say there are a few things which comes up very openly today. Is a lot of uncertainties in the pharmaceutical manufacturing and quality operations. There is a lot of regulatory and manufacturing. There is a lot of mistrust which comes up during the audits and after the audits. There is a lot of issues related with the decision making and what to choose and what not to regarding the process, product, and the procedures. Uh, Due to the situation like Corona, there is a disruption in the manufacturing and the supply chain activity. The markets are changing, the rules are changing. You can say there are changing playing fields and the moving targets because of the situations around the product and the pipeline which is needed within the work in an pharmaceutical for the site, for the corporate. So this is an area where I think a lot of opportunities are coming up. So we have a opportunity to bring in the certainty into the working. We have an opportunity to bring in the trust, bridge the gap between the regulators and the manufacturers. There is a possibility of helping them taking right decisions with the proper type of risk assessment and supporting that particular decision with the proper credible activity. And wherever there is a situation, they can take some proper measured, calibrated activity and decision which will support their long-term and short-term decisions regarding the product, process, and procedure. And definitely the requirements are changing. So to bring a product into the market, a new product or an existing product, or to support the patient need, that's an area where a third party or a consultant or an advisor like us can go in, support them without affecting their day-to-day work.
What would you like to highlight about your team and associates?
As far as my way of working and our organization, Pharma Mantra works, we have subject matter experts as the key players here. We identify the team, we discuss the team and check it out with the clients with the different requirements as per that. Once we finalize the scope of the work, we identify those people, they come onto the board and we do the assessment, we work for the organization, and that's the way we make a team based on the scope of the work. And there is a lot of variety of the work and a lot of subject matter expertise needed for different activities. For example, at times you need a chemist, at times you need a microbiologist, at times you need a good engineer, at times you need a good computer system validation expert, or maybe a toxicologist, or maybe someone who is really good in training. So looking at the need and the type of organizational work, we do make a team. So we have a model which is basically using the associates with subject matter experts as per the requirement.
Who are your blue chip clients?
I have been working, as I said, with few multinationals within India and some Indian companies. And then there are some companies abroad where I do visit, I do advise them at a corporate level and at a level where there is a mentorship to the quality head, to the managing director, to the CEO, and to the site quality and site operational heads. Now, I would not take the names at this juncture because it's too early many times to give up this information. But let me tell you, The process many times is very slow in consulting. So all these activities, whichever I'm trying to tell you within a span of 3 years, is making relationship moving forward with a lot of organization takes time. So I'm working on this.
How do you foresee the future of your company?
I think I have started this company before I turned 50, and I want to work at least 25 years more till I become 75. And if I look at, I have given myself 5 years from 17 August when I started this. In August 17, 2017, I started this organization. I'll be entering the 4th year and the 5th year. So I have given myself for 5 years to set it up in a practice where I make, as you said, a good, reliable organization which can support the requirement and a value add to the organizations in India and globally. Now, looking at the type of work, operations quality, I think this is an area which has not been much exploited world over. There were some uh, agencies which came in and they supported based on the regulatory inspections and the outcomes of the inspections. But I see a change scenario happening. The scenario change is like this, that there are proactive activities, proactive assessments, and proactive engagements which are happening with us. And that's something very positive. So companies are not only engaging with the third party during the or after the audits, but they're doing prior to that. So that's a big thing. And second point which is coming up is probability of engaging with a third party to bring the concept of right the first time and using the expertise right from the design concept in their system, process, and procedures. So I think that's where the role or the maturity of the system will come up for any organization when they start working along with a company or third party like Pharma Mantra, where we bring in the experience which we carry into the various aspects of the quality and compliance.
Any other important point you would like to share?
I think the importance of quality, importance of the patient care, and importance of healthcare has become paramount issue in this particular times within the India and within the global scenario today. We all are in lockdown as on date, and we all have understood the importance and the preciousness of our life and the individual's health and the society as a whole. So I think we have an opportunity where people have learned that the abundance is not the need, it is the how to survive with less and less. So people are going to adopt that. They will be more disciplined. They will become more frugal in their expenses. They are not going to spend a lot of things, but they will be looking for what is essential, what is required. Secondly, everyone has become very tech savvy. They understand how to use the smart technologies, how to be responsive to the situation. And you must have seen that people have been really responsible when the lockdown, the social distancing, and home quarantine became the key words in our day-to-day activities, which we have seen since March of 2020. So that's a game changer, you can say. So a lot of changes will happen. Work from home, education institutes going for online exams, online assessments, even organizations agreeing and working with 50% of the workload, and in manufacturing and quality in pharmaceutical, where it was thought that the things cannot be done remotely, they have started doing. Even I am supporting organizations to do remote assessment, remote review, remote release. So these are something which has come up within 90 days time. So you can understand there is a change, there is a huge opportunity which has come up, and people have accepted, people have agreed, and everyone is trying to take care of their business, their health, and health of their neighbor and the society per se. So that's where I see a lot of value add coming in from each and every individual and each and every organization which is in operations.
Nice talking with you. Thank you.